Hey everybody, welcome to the Agency Operators Podcast. Today I'm joined by Paul Hermanson. How are you doing, Paul?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm really excited to chat with you. So would you like to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about kind of what you guys do?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Paul. I'm CEO, founder of monstergrowth.com. And we are an SEO agency for e-commerce, particularly specialized in Shopify, but we handle WooCommerce and BigCommerce and Magento and all those things too. Yeah, I've had about 2 years of experience specifically with SEO and have also been kind of a renaissance man with all sorts of different marketing channels as well as I found my way. So
Very cool. Yeah, I'm really excited to have this conversation because, of course, AI is on everybody's minds. I've been hearing recently that some people have been really disappointed with how fast AI is growing, which to me sounds almost silly. But I do understand there's sort of a curve that's starting to flatten out in terms of each iteration of like GPT or these new models that are coming out is less impressive than the last one, just because we've probably started to hit a limit on some of the information that's available. But nonetheless, the application and all these tools are so incredible, and I still think it's revolutionizing things in many ways for every industry. So SEO is something that's evolved. You've seen it in your career, I've seen it in mine, tremendously. And right now we're really getting into a different level of SEO where AI plays a huge role. And I would love to hear kind of like deep insight into ways that AI is affecting SEO, affecting Shopify and all these other platforms. How much impact it has on D2C brands and ways that small D2C brands can use it in order to get ahead. Before we jump in, though, I would love to hear, why did you decide to start Monster Growth? Like, your agency background, kind of what led you into that agency world?
Oh yeah, awesome. I can actually probably dive into my growth flywheel concept for this because it basically SEO is has a great potential of being your number one marketing channel, and the reason for it is rising ad costs. Basically, and like I was actually in the real estate niche for a while. I was a realtor for a while. I tried doing ads myself as a realtor, and that's when I realized that the market had bid up the real estate keywords way too high, like almost to the point where it wasn't worth it. Like your cost your cost per acquisition, your acquisition costs were higher than the profit you'd make on a sale. So at that point, it was basically like the ads were totaled for me. It was not an option. And then that and the increase of restrictions on targeting made it just impossible. You can't target by revenue, let's say, or household income or something like that, like you would really need to do. So that meant you had to target a larger audience with your ads, and so that made them even less effective. And your ad spend just became outrageous or not scalable. So I saw in my own life, just as a realtor with my other I was an entrepreneur doing different stuff. I saw this limit that you would hit, this wall. Ads are a quick way to get started, and by all means, absolutely do that. Most of my clients, I need them. They basically they have to have a revenue channel other than like SEO or organic. They have to have another revenue channel before they come to me, usually, because I'm there to decrease their cost per acquisition with SEO. And yeah, it takes time. So that's basically it in a nutshell.
Right. And so with SEO, I mean, what I've heard is that typically it's a long game. That's people comparing a little bit to renting versus buying, right? Where like you're spending money on ads, and so that's your sort of like renting, right? Because like you're getting the job done, you're getting that revenue, but there's not much stickiness to it. Maybe on some of these platforms like Amazon, there's some stickiness to it because it's giving you some rank, which contributes to organic sales. But typically with SEO, right, it's not the case, or with Google, it's not the case. Maybe you get more visitors, that sends a signal to Google, but really what you need to do is some of the work that you're doing, kind of around backlinks and authority building and some of the other stuff, right, to actually establish yourself as a presence in the search engine and bring organic traffic that way. Am I following correctly?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, basically, you're saying like earned media versus owned media. And what ads, especially Google ads, allow you to do is to identify the search engine results pages, SERPs, the SERPs that are the most valuable to your business. So, think about each search engine results page being you put in a keyword and you see the first 10 links, that's a SERP. And that is, let's just say it's a really high valuable one because you know it because you're paying for ads and it's resulting in conversions and you're like, oh, perfect, let's scale this up. So yeah, you have a valuable SERP. Treat that as like a location for your business. Brick and mortar businesses, the location is do or die for them. Same thing when it comes to digital advertising and your website. So, but the cool thing with SERPs is like you have multiple locations. So you're looking at, but each location is like a mini business, your SERPs, that has its own profit loss. It has its own set of competitors. And so what you're doing with ads is identifying what locations are valuable. When you then learn that, and you've paid to learn that, now it's up to us as SEO guys to help you to own as much of that SERP as possible. And so you can own multiple places. There's many ways of getting on that SERP. Of course, there's what we affectionately call traditional SEO, which would be the blue links. So you're in that blue link. As Google matures, as we get into the future, those blue links keep on getting pushed down and pushed down. So now there's AI overviews that are getting triggered by a lot of keywords, mostly informational keywords, but also like transactional keywords aren't triggering it as much, but mixed intent transactional. So it could be not just like the best running shoes, that will be shopping. And you'll see Nike and other brands on the top, and you'll see the product feeds and stuff like that. But if you say, best running shoes for flat feet, something like that might trigger AI overviews, and it's pushing those links down. So what we're doing is we're seeing whatever is most valuable to your business or and means to an end, like how to this, how to that, informational keywords. In order, we rank those first in order to rank your transactional keywords. We do this all with the purpose of getting you to rank for the ones that are most valuable. And it all comes from high level discovery through either ads or competitors' ads or just reverse engineering competitors.
And so now with AI, what changes?
Yeah. So what changes is Google has a run for their money, basically. As of my own research, it looks like Google's like somewhere in 90% of market share or something. Still a lot, and still, the majority of what you're going to get is through Google. But Google responded very quickly to ChatGPT and other things with Gemini, with AI overviews. Now AI mode is pretty new. Overall, I don't believe it was hard for them to do that because Google has been doing, sentiment analysis for a very long time. So they already had a lot of these tools behind the scenes using now what's called embeddings, which is, I don't understand all the math, but it's cosine similarity. There's mathematical calculations in the back where they translate words into numbers and then do a cosine similarity analysis between those numbers to identify the meanings between terms. So if you search for pasta, then a term that's related is sauce. But Google would only know that based on user behavior of a lot of searches and a lot of queries.
Amazing. And so a little bit behind the scenes, we were talking about Market Brew and some of these other amazing tools. I would love to kind of talk a little bit about that and kind of what they do. What are some of these advanced tools actually give insight into, and how can some people use them, or how do they get access to them?
Yeah, great question. So Google and AI, and one more thing I wanted to say is those like AI mode and AI overview is still a majority of the market as far as AI is concerned. So it's a new way of doing of queries and exploring information. So we're partnered with marketbrew.ai, and you guys can check it out too. They have some amazing free tools like AI visualizer. You can visualize AI mode or AI overviews. They have free tools there, have limited number of credits, but you can go on there and type in a query, type in a keyword, or type in a competitor and see how they're coming up. And you also see specifically this cosine similarity I was talking about is in Market Brew. which does that analysis just like Google would. They've reverse engineered all of it. So it'll actually show you color coded on your page what text was brought up by the AI, and then in their paid version it'll show you why and what to do and how to implement it and that sort of thing. But yeah, Market Brew is pretty awesome because typically SEO, it's data based, it's data driven strategy. We have the data in Ahrefs or SEMrush, and we act on that data. We see the competitors, how they're, we reverse engineer, and we act on that data, and then we produce results. It's not very creative. It's all very data driven. The processes are where we can get creative. So because, but at a high level, our high level decisions, like I want to do interlinking to increase topical authority on this, or, let's get this link from this website and put it right here in this article. And let's link this topical cluster. Here's your pillar page. All those high level decisions are trying to get you to, beat your competitor. But at a high level, I am guessing. It's a guess and check. It's an educated guess. And my education is based on other SEO people. So we're all as SEO people, we're friends, for instance, Slack groups and LinkedIn and whatnot. And I'm in a whole bunch of school groups and I'm on calls all the time because what's new today? What's working for you today? So the reason for that, it's a guess and check because Google is a black box. We have no idea what's going on in there. There are a couple employees from Google that are specifically there to kind of answer questions, and they're posting stuff on Twitter, and we all take that like gospel and we eat that up. And there's Medium articles written about it the next day or 2 minutes later after this one guy, he's like a Google celebrity, posts on Twitter. So that's like, the majority of our information is filtered down from what this one guy posted from Google, but that's all we get. So an AI itself is a black box. We don't know. It's proprietary. So what Market Brew has done is they've reverse engineered Google's algorithm, and they're hosting it on their own servers and basically created their own search engine, but mirrored it, and they're continually mirroring it to Google. And every day or so, I understand that they recalibrate the tool. So they'll enter in a query into their tool and see the results, and then they check it against Google and seeing the results to make sure the results are the same. I'm sure I'm really oversimplifying it, but basically, Google algorithm updates happen almost every day. Big core updates can happen multiple times a month. So what Market Brew allows us then to do as an SEO guy, I can go in there and I can be like, hey, we have this competitor. This is a key SERP that we want to win and we want to own it. There's a competitor that's really hard to beat. So how do we beat them? And then, we beat them. Here's a whole bunch of SEO things I can do. I can improve your crawl depth. I can improve your interlinking. I can add more content. Let's build a listicle post and let's build a versus post. This versus a competitor. Let's link them all together. Let's then go get some links out here and bring them in. Let's improve your on-page SEO. Let's add some FAQs. All this stuff. The question is, how much resources does it take to do all of that? Is it going to fit in the budget that's realistic? And how long is it going to take? There's business value and there's business opportunity. There's opportunity cost associated with all of this. Everything is limited in some way. So what Market Brew allows us to do is we have this list of all things we can do. And in the software, there's a slider where I can be like, what if I do 80% of this? We do 50% of this, 20% of this. Will we beat the competitor? And it says, yes or no. And then it's like, oh, if I do this and this, will I beat the competitor? It says, oh, yes. Like there's multiple ways to skin the cat. So what we're able to do is find the smallest lever that allows us to get the biggest results. And we can test it against the Market Brew, mirrored version of the Google algorithm in order to then have a more educated approach. And then we implement it on the client site. And we can basically operate twice as fast and be a lot more effective.
So you're running a simulation using Market Brew technology in order to actually understand what kind of impact it has ahead of time. So that way you're not wasting time to, kind of adhering to the 80-20 rule, right? And getting as most result for the least amount of effort as like a first priority.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've gotten great results for clients without Market Brew, and Market Brew has a new tool, pretty new with the tool, but yeah, really looking forward to seeing results as we get more clients in there. It's a higher level tool. It costs money. It's as you can imagine, with all that server costs and everything. But yeah, it's a huge win.
Very cool. And my last question, I wanted to ask about the future of where things are going. Like, you were saying all this. Nobody really knows. Everybody's kind of waiting for some of the in-staff Google guys to say something. So nobody really knows for sure. But we can kind of see a trajectory starting to evolve. And with all these tools and everything, what do you think is the next step? What is the future of SEO?
Oh, I mean, it is going to be a fragmented search. And, we see Shopify now has a partnership with ChatGPT that I understand. And we're seeing an increase in the number of transactional searches, supposedly in AI in ChatGPT. We don't know who puts what in ChatGPT. It's all locked down. But what we can infer is based on how Google's responding to it. And so we're looking at AI mode, AI overviews and other things, how they're responding, so that we can see, hey, when these mixed transactional intent queries started triggering, AI overviews, I'm thinking, oh, there's probably a lot more transactional terms in ChatGPT. And we're mostly seeing it, based on all the reports I'm seeing, we're mostly seeing it from Gen Z. So that's another thing. Is like, if you're like a store right now and you're not targeting Gen Z right now, it's not something you really have to worry about. Also, Google has 90% of the market share. So as of now, you rank in Google, you're going to rank in AI. What we are going to see, I believe, is potentially Google's losing some market share a little bit. But Google, has its tricks up its sleeve as well. It's going to hold on to as much as possible. But we are going to see improved shopping experiences in the different AI platforms. And I really believe that there are competitors that are going to come out of the woodwork. There's a lot of startups that are going to be coming up as well, that are going to be targeting specific things. It may be the checkout experience, or, trying to specifically get more transactional search for your shopping experience. I ask my brother all the time. He's a research guru. He will just go in there and just, I'm like, hey, what's the best laptop to buy? I ask him, because he knows, the best graphics card and what processor is compatible and all that kind of stuff. I don't know, but I ask him, and he does all the research for me. And I'm like, man, with AI, there's, you're going to have shopping assistants there. You're going to have, and it's already there in many ways. But yeah, I see a lot more transactional volume coming through AI. And, for right now, we want to rank in Google, but in the future, yeah, I mean, definitely we're going to have to watch it.
Amazing. Paul, I really appreciate you sharing these nuggets of wisdom and good ones in here. How can somebody find you if they wanted to reach out, maybe get a consultation?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Paul at monstergrowth.com. Just reach out to me there, and happy to help. Can do an instant audit on your GA4 and get your attribution set for ads and SEO. Also, if you're interested, I can do some free competitor analysis on Market Brew. Yeah, all sorts of goodies. I also have like this 150 point checklist that every single item that we do for Shopify SEO, happy to share it with anybody. I know there's a lot of SEO people out there that could benefit from that. A lot of e-commerce store owners that are interested in doing this themselves, and happy to share all my resources. It's a big world. We need all the help we can get to move forward. So happy to help you. DM me or email me.
Awesome. Thanks again, Paul. And thanks everybody for watching.
Thank you.
Catch you on the next one. Take care.
Bye for now.